Today is March 30th, I believe, and I'm starting planking, or kind of starting planking. Been working on getting the rabbit here cut out, and it's gonna take a little practice to get good at this. Of course, this is the worst part right here. It's gonna get easier elsewhere. The keel itself will be easier, and once I get going here, it's going to be easier going up too. So I started just hacking in here with an oscillating tool. I made kind of a mess here, but I just hacked in there and got it started, and then I've been using a variety of tools to take the rest out. And then I decided to get my circular saw out, my regular 7 1/4 inch circular saw. Actually, my father's saw way back in the day. And it angles the correct direction so I could get this bevel cut in here where this plank comes in to meet this. So you can see here I cut this bevel. Actually, I cut it twice. Cut once too shallow and once a little deep, but that's fine. But we're just going to carry this on all the way up, and that'll be our angle for the planking to sit into. So once I got that bevel cut in there, that makes things a little bit easier. Then I used my oscillating tool to come in and make some notches, not quite all the way down to the depth here. And then I used a chisel to knock it out. And then I've tried a couple different things to get this surface in here down to its final dimension or size or whatever you want to call it. And I got a couple of different tools here I've been using. This is a turbo plane. Let me see. This is the turbo plane. Really aggressive. It's almost too aggressive for this job. Just a little nick somewhere and you've made a big boo-boo. And this is, oh gosh, I don't remember what these are called. But you can see these are just little pins on here. This is the flattest one I've got. I've got two of these. One's a little more curved and this one's flatter. And this thing actually is doing the best job, and I forget what grit it is even. I don't think it says anything on it. No, it doesn't. But anyway, that's been working the best because it's not quite so aggressive, but it's adequately aggressive for taking down more of the material here. Now you can see here there's a groove in there, and that's me hitting it with that thing, whatever you call that. It's okay because I'm going to epoxy these in, use thickened epoxy in here. That's one of the reasons I built this boat, and this is something that George says in his book too, and epoxy is the wood butcher's friend, and epoxy will fill gaps and be just as strong, if not stronger, than the wood itself. So now this one isn't cut to fit in here, but just to give you kind of an idea, you can see there's some gaps there, 1/8 inch gap, whatever, maybe in places. Now the forward end here is going to get cut to fit, but those will fill just fine with the thickened epoxy. And then when the board goes in here, you can see I actually came back, to the left, on the left end of this. I took a little more material out than I even would have needed to, but it's pretty good. And then I left about a 1/4 inch deep here. The reason for that is I've got plywood to put on over top of this. And so when the planking goes on here, this is hard to do without any extra hands. When the planking goes on here like this, there's going to be a piece of plywood buttered in here too. I didn't want to get overly nuts going deep here and try to put the plywood all the way down there. So I think I'll probably the plywood's going to overhang just a little bit, 1/8 of an inch, whatever. Then I'll just round it, and I'll probably fill the whole thing with a thickened epoxy, and when I'm putting the plywood on, and seal it to the keel here, or to the stem. But it is working. It's god-awful slow going. But like I said, as I get a little more familiar, comfortable with doing this, I think it should go a little faster. Yeah, but I'm using just about every tool I got. Yeah. And important as anything is still the good old-fashioned chisel. That takes material out faster than probably almost anything else, or with some degree of accuracy anyway. Oh, and here's another tool, little thing that I've got for my oscillating tool here. This is oh, I don't know, what do they call it? A rasp, I guess, almost. It's a carbide, real coarse carbide material on there. And that's kind of nice too. That really does some nice material removal with a, you know, that you can get into a tight space. So that's proving beneficial as well.